How does Bilaam Harasha become Bilaam? Chazal tell us that he had the same level of nevuah as Moshe Rabbeinu. This is clearly a man who had amazing spiritual kaiches. Yet Moshe Rabbeinu becomes Moshe Rabbeinu and Bilaam Harasha becomes Bilaam Harasha, a hired assassin, designed to vanquish Klal Yisrael. How do you become such a terrible Rasha? Not only that, Chazal tell us that the Pi Ha'ason, the mouth of the donkey, that spoke to Bilaam was created ben hashmashos at the very last moments of creation. Why does the HaKadosh Baruch Hu say that creation cannot be completed until the Pi Ha'ason is there? Why is that so fundamental to creation itself? Chazal tell us that Bilaam comes from a lashon of Bilaam. He had no nation. In contrast to Moshe Rabbeinu, who had so much belonging. The conflict for Moshe Rabbeinu was which family would he belong to. But belonging he had in spades. On the one hand, he could have been a Jew. He had a mother who nursed him. He had a sister who followed him into the river. A brother who went out to greet him in the desert. Moshe Rabbeinu had the most beautiful Jewish family. But he also had an Egyptian family. An Egyptian princess took him in from the water. She named him. That's the name we call him. He had Paro who was taking care of him. He had all of the luxuries of living in the palace. So Moshe Rabbeinu had so much belonging. The only question was, who would Moshe Rabbeinu become? And he chose, Vayigdal Moshe v'yetzei alechav. Moshe Rabbeinu, he chose to belong to Klal Yisrael. That's what he wanted, Baruch Hashem. When a person has belonging, the things they could do in this world. Bilaam is Bilaam. He belonged nowhere. He had nowhere to come home to. He had nobody who loved him. A kid who has no one who loves him can become a terrible Rasha. And that's how Bilaam became Bilaam. And we see it today. Children that don't feel like they could be themselves, that they're not loved and accepted and cherished for who they are. They could chas v'shalom go off and do terrible things. They're not bad people. They're just not rooted anywhere. So what's the antidote? The antidote is the Pi Ha'ason, the mouth of the donkey. When the mouth of the donkey opened up, it was HaKadosh Baruch Hu's way of saying to Bilaam, you don't have to be this way. You do belong. For me, the Rabbi Shalom says, creation could not be complete until there was a mechanism to return you, Bilaam Harasha, to the path of tshuva. In fact, Rashi points out that the malach that spoke to Bilaam was a malach of rachamim, a malach whose design was to tell Bilaam, don't do this aveira, lest you will be lost, lest you will perish. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was trying to tell Bilaam, you belong. When we don't have belonging in our lives, we can do terrible things. When there are people in the world that come to us and say, we're here for you, come back, there is a place for you. That's the time when we have the capacity to return and to become the people that we're truly meant to be. Bilaam could have become a Moshe Rabbeinu. The problem is, he didn't have Moshe Rabbeinu's family. It's a big musar for us. Do we belong? Where do we belong? Who are the people in our lives that make us feel like we belong? And who are we giving the gift of belonging to? Do our children feel like they belong in our homes? Our friends? Our spouses? The gift of belonging is the gift of being. And we should give this gift wherever we can.